Why would a major financial hub and a country that absolutely depends on its banking vote against saving its own banks is the question that comes to my mind first.
Well, in other words, why should the members of parliament tax the average guy in Cyprus to bail out the rich banks? Of course, they shouldn't be doing it. They should follow the path of Iceland, let them go under. Too much, all of Europe, like all of America, is a bankocracy. Everything is being run for the banks. This is all about bailing out the banks. It's not about bailing out Cyprus, not about bailing out Greece or Italy or Spain. It's the banks that went bananas during the Federal Reserve and Bank of England and ECB generated boom of 2007, 2008, and so forth. They got into bad trouble. They have to pay for the mistakes they made. And certainly nobody in Cyprus should be taxed to pay back the bonds. They never agreed, average guys never agreed to pay those bonds. They should repudiate the bonds, start afresh, and no longer rip off the average guy for the benefit of the rich bankers. The bankers, every bank, by the way, is inherently bankrupt because they all run on fractional reserves. If there's ever a bank run, if people line up to get their money out of the bank, any bank will go out of existence because they're based on a fraudulent system. It's not a good thing. It's not economically good. It's not morally good. So people of Cyprus, they're doing a great thing, and they should continue resisting.
What was the thought here by European leaders? They were apparently told that this was going to happen anyway. They were told that this would be a no-go, that the people would reject it, it would be thrown out of Parliament, yet they pressed ahead with it anyway. What was the thinking, do you think?
I don't know. Are they dumb? I don't know. They, of course, believe that they can do anything, like most politicians. They believe that they can just order it and it will happen. Still, the people's money is being held, right? Everybody's bank deposit in Cyprus has been stolen. 100% has been stolen. Maybe they'll give it back. Maybe they'll give some of it back. Maybe they'll give it back on Thursday. Who knows? But everybody should take this lesson from it. Your money is not safe in the banks. Don't keep more than what you need just from a day-to-day standpoint in the banks, because I don't care whether you're in England or in Europe or in the United States. If the banks get in trouble, they will take your money, the government will take your money, and so don't let them do it. Use cash to the extent you can. Don't use the banks. The banks are really your economic enemy. They're not your friend. They're ripping people off in Cyprus.
It sounds like you aren't surprised about what happened here in Cyprus, this 10% tax that's caused all this fuss. Understandably.
Well, I think, no, of course, I think it was a terrible thing. Like any tax, it was theft. Another act of government theft. Although everything government does is based on theft, about putting a gun at your head and saying, give us your money.
I guess some taxes are more fair than others, no?
Well, I guess that's right. The less money they're taking, the fairer it is.
What is going to happen now in Cyprus next? How much of this is hype? How much of it is the real reality that it's going to go under? Banks are going to go bankrupt. You know, okay, even if you're not worried about what happens to the banks, you worry about what happens to people, ordinary people there on the streets in Cyprus.
Of course.
What's next?
Well, you know, we'll just have to see. But obviously, the ECB is going to give itself the bailout through the old method. They're going to print it up, and so that's going to be the government will pay off the bondholders. That's what's at stake here, not anything for anybody in Cyprus.
What's backing that money they're printing? What's backing that money they're printing?
Well, it has no backing at all. It's just like a piece of paper they put through the printing press. Of course, they do it through digits, right? It's all done on computer. It's not, for the most part, printed money as it was in the past. It's just creating more currency, more inflation down the road. But at least these people aren't going to have this tax put on them. And if they refuse to cooperate, if they take their money out of the banks, there should be a bank run. And that would be a very good thing. It would straighten everybody out. It would be a wake-up call to every bad guy in Europe. Be a wonderful thing. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. They might try the Mattress. Mattress is a much better place to keep your money than the banks in Cyprus or indeed the banks anywhere.
Until a robber comes in and steals it, or a thief comes in and steals it, you can never make it, Lou.
You mean what's happening in Cyprus right now?
Nicely put. Lou Rockwell, thanks for being with us tonight. Appreciate your time.